Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right.
What was that like doing that?
I had so much fun. You know, when the night was over, I just thought, I can't remember the last time I had that much fun. You know, kind of with the team, and then, you know, I felt like a kid again. I mean, I'm 51, and I played baseball a long time ago, but it was just really fun being out on the field.
With EuroLeague being done now, when do you expect James back, and when do you think Maya will actually practice?
Yeah, James will be back. He's on the first flight out of there. I imagine he's probably on a flight right now. He's itching to get back, and so he'll be back by the next time we practice. So I expect he'll be sometime tomorrow. Maya will get back pretty quick as well, but naturally we want to give her a little bit of time to get back, get to Atlanta, catch her breath, get some summer clothes, get rid of all the Russia winter clothes stuff. And I just always tell our veterans, come back when you're mentally and physically ready, because if I ask them to come back before that, it's not productive. So I suspect within a week, you know, we should have her back here, and when that week clock starts, you know, that's up to her.
I mean, if she were to come back after the second preseason game and have that week leading up to the opener, that'd be enough.
Yeah, that was our worst case scenario. I think we're looking at something a little bit better than that. So yeah, I was really happy they got the sweep, and another championship for Maya. You know, just doing her thing. It's kind of I don't know. It just seems real selfish of her.
You were talking yesterday about how Banana had kind of surprised you with her flexibility defensively.
Yeah. Well, no, I think I was saying offensively. I had to find out defensively.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, but you knew that she had some post moves, plus she could stretch that.
Yes.
But on defense,
yes.
You're thinking she can
yes.
guard both the 4 and the 5 at this point?
We weren't sure. So, you know, today we introduced our more elements to our defense and what she would be asked to do. And, you know, like most players, you can do it initially, and then what happens when there's a pass and a closeout and a help and then a pass, you know, just kind of playing all the way through the possession. I learned a little bit today, not enough to determine whether you can guard, you know, some of the tough 4s in our league. I got some really good 4s, you know, a Candace Parker, a Brianna Stewart, Elena Deladon. But that's hard for anybody who's guarding, not just someone like Kaiser.
Coach saw yesterday, I mean, in the interview, you still haven't got that invite to the White House. Just how disappointing is that, just for the team, for yourself? You
know, we're not losing sleep over it. You know, it's one of those things. It's an honor. It was really special when, you know, the other championships that we won, to be able to get the word that we were going to get a phone call from the White House, and the players that were still in town, we could gather. It was something special to share with our players, to have the President of the United States calling you, congratulating you on a great series, and then at the end of the call saying, we'd love to have you at the White House to celebrate with the President. And so it's certainly disappointing, you know, but we're moving on. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
Cheryl, to that end, Dawn, it took 7 months for her to hear from the White House, and reached out to Notre Dame, and they've yet to hear from the White House as well. Do you think there is a pattern here?
Well, I think, yeah. I mean, I understand, you know, some of the details of what happened, you know, with the South Carolina invite. The trend certainly is that women's sports aren't recognized in the same way that men's sports are. That's the, you know, the unfortunate pattern that, you know, you don't want to believe that that's the case, but it's hard not to think that, you know, when the Astros are, you know, have won a championship and have been there, and we've gotten no communication. So, yeah, I mean, it's certainly disappointing.
Word to come.
I'm sorry?
Word to come. You said you talk with the people, and you try to not, you know, to show them the opportunities that visit could show, but there have been people who have shown a reluctance to go.
Yeah, and we haven't talked about it as a group. There are, you know, every time that we've been in this situation, you know, we do the same thing, because sometimes the season, you know, you move on, you know, you're into the next season, and sometimes that schedule of when you can get to the White House might be detrimental to your team in that season. And so we always gather the core group and say, okay, what do we want to do? Do we want to do this? Does this timing look right? And so it would be no different that if it happened this time. You know, there's more to talk about in this one, but I'd want to make sure that we're really thoughtful, you know, because that's what champions do. Champions go to the White House. And so if there's a way that we could, one, be invited, two, have that decision to make, you know, I don't know where we would land, but, you know, the invite would have to come first.
So whatever decision it is, it would either be done together or not at all.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Just like in every other year, you know, because we've had a couple that, you know, said, you know what, I've already done it, and I don't know if it's the best. But then you go, okay, well, so-and-so hasn't. But oh, absolutely, this is one that either the team is going or the team is not going.
Any more questions?
What does Carly Wagner have to do to make the team? How's she doing?
That was asked yesterday. I think, I hope she doesn't hear you guys, because I don't think that's her focus in making the team. I know that's what everyone wants to talk about when someone gets a tryout, but that's kind of focusing on the outcome. I want Carly Wagner every day to come in here and embrace what we're doing, how we're doing it, why we're doing it, and make progress each day. When you focus on trying to make the team, it's just not good for anybody. As I said before, this is a tough nut to crack. This league is very, very hard to get into. Carly's a third-round pick. Our third-round pick success is a little bit greater than what you might expect, but there's some guaranteed contracts. There's some things that she cannot control, and so she just has to come in here and start building her resume. And if at the end of the day she looks up and she gave it all she had, and she made the roster or she didn't make the roster, that's beyond her control.
To that end, it looked like she was having.
You guys came at the right time. I thought, oh great, there we go. It's gonna be Carly Wagner's gonna be plastered all over TV.
So what'd she get that 3?
Yeah, no, everything that you saw from Carly right there is exactly what she's been doing. And I think what you saw in the moments where players are getting more comfortable, and she was able to show what she can do. And I have enjoyed the heck out of having her in camp, that's for sure.
So Jewel talked about the fact that there's not a G League on the women's side. Obviously there isn't. How important, how big would that be for development, not just for Carly, but just across the league for you guys and for the league as a whole?
Well, there's no question that having a developmental league would be great, but it's just not realistic. Can we just get a commitment to the W? Forget the having a development. We need greater commitment and resources for our league to then maybe get that next step. But we are so far from that. Our developmental league is overseas, and that's what it is. But no question, it would be incredibly helpful. But it's just not realistic. We're a long ways away from that.
Maya Moore winning
Last
another
question.
championship, it's become like cliche at this point.
Yeah.
Besides her skill, obviously, what makes her such a winner her whole life, basically?
When you're around winners, those intangibles, they just jump out at you. First things first, she has a very selfless nature about who she is as a person. That's the way she plays on the court. She's so interested in her team being successful. This isn't about Maya Moore being successful. She knows she can't do it by herself, and that's an incredible trait to have, especially when she came into our team. We had a veteran group that knew how to play, knew how to win, and she had to be the superstar that had all these accolades to come in here and go, how do I help the team win? And so it wasn't to be the number one option. It wasn't for her to run around jack up shots. And so she's embraced the idea of how to be efficient, in terms of winning in this league, knowing how to involve her teammates, and then I just think if you're around her, the intangibles of being able to connect with your teammates, with your coaches, through your verbal, through your eye contact, constantly giving of yourself, whether you're high-fiving a teammate, recognizing what's needed in a situation. So it's a long list of what winners are.
Awesome. Thanks,